2 million yuan in debt. Zhang looked at the red numbers on his phone screen and felt his stomach clench into a knot. The collectors called every day. Yesterday, one of them came personally, broke the window on the stairwell, and left a note. 3 days, otherwise we'll come for you. The guy was 24 years old, but he felt like an old man. 7 years ago, his parents died during the Great Breakthrough, when portals first opened all over the world and monsters broke out into the cities. Millions died in the first week. Zhang survived only because he hid in the school basement for 3 days, while the military cleared the area. He remembered the screams in the streets, the rumble of explosions, the smell of burning and blood seeping through the cracks in the basement door. He remembered how he sat hugging his knees, eyes squeezed shut, covering his ears, praying to all the gods he didn't believe in. After that, the world changed forever. Hunters appeared, people whose bodies mutated and gained superpowers from exposure to portal energy. They created guilds, academies, an entire industry around dungeons. The government took portals under control, classified them by rank from F to S, established quotas for clearing. Inside the portals were monsters, but also mana crystals, rare materials, artifacts that sold for millions. Hunters entered in groups, cleared dungeons, divided the loot. Some got rich in a month, some became national heroes. The whole world went crazy with a new gold rush. Zhang tried to become one of them. 4 years at the Hunter Academy on money his parents had set aside for his education. 4 years of training to exhaustion, bruises, broken ribs, bullying, and failures. His body did not react to mana energy. Characteristics remained at the level of an ordinary person. Strength, 10. Agility, 9. Endurance, 11. Magic, 0. Instructors called him deadweight. Classmates, useless trash taking up space. Every morning he woke up with hope that today something would change. Every evening he went to bed with a beaten face and a new portion of humiliation. When the money for tuition ran out, he was expelled without ceremony. The academy director didn't even look at him while signing the expulsion documents. You wasted 4 years? You have no future in this industry. Find a regular job and live a regular life. Zhang tried business. Opened a hunter equipment store with his parents' last savings. A small shop in the shopping district. Bought swords, armor, potions from small suppliers. The first month even went well. Academy students bought cheap equipment. But after 3 months, large guilds bought up all his suppliers, raised prices threefold, and small traders flew out of the market. Zhang held on for another 2 months, going into debt, and then declared bankruptcy. The store closed. Creditors started calling. Now he sat in a tiny rented apartment on the 7th floor of an old house on the outskirts of Shanghai. 20 square meters. A sagging couch where he slept. A table piled with bills and debt notices. A refrigerator containing only 2 packs of cheap instant noodles and a bottle of water. 340 yuan left in his account. Rent unpaid for 2 months. The landlady promised to throw his things out onto the street in a week. The collectors threatened to break his legs in 3 days. Maybe he should just jump from the roof. Quick, painless. No one would even notice. He had no friends, relatives, girlfriend. Even his former co-workers from his job as a warehouse loader wouldn't remember his name in a week. Zhang lay on the sagging couch, staring at the ceiling with yellow stains from leaks. His hand reached for the phone. He dialed the crisis hotline number, long beeps 12510. No one answered. Even here he was ignored. He put the phone on his chest and closed his eyes. Fatigue fell like a heavy lead blanket. When was the last time he slept normally? A week ago? 2? Suddenly the air in front of his face flickered. Zhang felt a slight tingling on his skin, like static electricity. He opened his eyes and saw a blue translucent window, hovering 30 centimeters from his nose. The edges of the window flickered. Inside words glowed with bright white light. Suitable candidate detected. Criteria: desperation, maximum moral constraints, minimum survival potential, average, dungeon ownership system activating. He blinked, rubbed his eyes with his fists. The window didn't disappear. On the contrary, the text changed. Initialization 100% complete. Welcome to the dungeon ownership system. You have been randomly selected from 10 million candidates worldwide. Zhang sat up on the couch. His heart beat faster, pounding in his ribs. Is this a hallucination? Psychosis from stress and malnutrition? Or is he already dead, and these are some dying visions of a brain dying from hunger? You have been granted a starting portal rank F location. Abandoned warehouse number 17. Industrial zone Haidian district, Shanghai. Ownership 100%. Jangha. Starting capital 0 yuan. Starting monsters. Slimes level 1, 3. New lines appeared one after another, filling the window. Zhang Hao read, not believing his eyes. Rubbed them again. Pinched his arm. Painful. So not a dream. The system was giving him a dungeon? As property? A portal that belonged only to him. Available functions. Portal management. Opening, closing, parameter settings. Monster settings. Level change, type, behavior. Reward setting. Loot distribution. Rental to hunters, providing access for a fee. Dungeon evolution. Rank increase. Unlocking new functions. He stretched out a trembling hand, touched the window with his fingertip. The surface was cold, smooth like glass, but his finger passed through it, leaving ripples of light. The window reacted, the content changed, a new message appeared in large letters. First mission. Rent the dungeon to hunters and earn 10,000 yuan. Completion deadline, 7 days. Completion reward, unlock monster evolution. Function 1,000 experience points, access to system shop. Failure penalty. System will be withdrawn, you will lose all privileges and return to normal life. 7 days, 10,000 yuan. That was more than he earned in 3 months at his last job as a warehouse loader, hauling boxes 12 hours a day for a measly 30 yuan per hour. Zhang Hao got up from the couch. His legs trembled as if after a long run. His head was spinning. He hadn't eaten since yesterday evening. But something inside awakened. Excitement. A last chance. Either this would work, or he would die anyway in 3 days at the hands of collectors. He called a taxi with his last 300 yuan and went to the abandoned warehouse in Haidian district. The trip took 40 minutes through traffic. The driver was silent the whole way, glancing at Zhang Hao in the rearview mirror with suspicion. Unshaven, in a dirty t-shirt, with bruises under his eyes. Dropped him off near the rusty gates of the industrial zone and left. The warehouse turned out to be exactly as he imagined from the system description. Rusty gates with peeling paint, on which there was once an inscription, but now only War HS number 7 remained. Broken windows on the second floor boarded up, walls covered with graffiti, mold, and soot. The industrial zone died after the economic crisis caused by the breakthrough. Most factories closed, workers dispersed, only homeless people and drug dealers remained. The perfect place for something illegal. Zhang Hao pushed the gates. They squeaked protestingly but opened, raising a cloud of rusty dust. Inside, emptiness the size of a basketball court. Concrete floor, cracked and covered with oil stains. Rusty pipes under the ceiling entwined with cobwebs. Broken boxes in the corner, the smell of dampness, machine oil, and something rotting. The system showed a new window right in the center of his field of vision. Activate portal? Yes/no. Zhang Hao mentally chose yes. In the center of the warehouse, about 10 meters from the entrance, the air trembled. First, a light ripple appeared, like over hot asphalt in summer. Then the air began to swirl in a spiral, becoming denser. A vertical crack appeared from which a dim gray light oozed, cold and unpleasant. The crack widened, tearing reality like fabric, to the size of a door, 2 meters high, 1 meter wide. The edges of the portal flickered purple and blue like the surface of a soap bubble. From the depths came dampness and staleness. Portal rank if activated. Dungeon type, slime cave. Environment, damp cave, temperature 15 degrees. Celsius dim lighting, monsters, ordinary slimes. Level 1, 3. Quantity, from 10 to 15 individuals simultaneously. Boss, none. Rewards, ordinary quality. Slime, small mana crystals, maximum group size, 5 people recommended. Hunter rank, F. Zhang Hao slowly approached closer. Looking closely, he could see through the flickering surface, dim outlines of the cave inside. Stone walls covered with moss, puddles of murky water on the floor, something slowly moving in the darkness. A new control panel opened, a large window with dozens of tabs and parameters. He studied them one by one, trying to understand how it worked. A rank F dungeon, the lowest difficulty level in portal classification. Slimes. The weakest monsters in nature, even novice hunters kill them with bare hands for training. Rewards. Trash that costs pennies on the market. A monocrystal the size of a fingernail sells for 50 yuan. Slime is used only for cheap fertilizers. Who would even go into such a dungeon? Beginners train in government portals completely free under instructor supervision. Experienced hunters would laugh at rank F and go to rank C or B portals where the loot is worth millions. But there was no choice. Jangha opened the pricing tab and set the rental cost. 500 yuan for one entry for a group of up to 5 people. This was 10 times cheaper than the average market price. Almost free, but better something than die from hunger. Now he needed clients. He took out his phone, went to the largest hunter forum, Portal Hunter, and created an ad in the dungeon rental section. New rank F portal for rent. Only 500 yuan for a group of up to 5 people. Ideal for beginners and academy students. Safe, no time limits. Money-back guarantee for technical problems. Address, warehouse number 17, Haidian Industrial Zone, contact, his phone number. The money-back guarantee was a blatant lie, but who cares? He sent the ad and began to wait. The first day passed, 0 responses. 23 people viewed the ad, but no one wrote. Second day, 47 views, 0 messages. Jangha checked his phone every 5 minutes, refreshing the ad page until the screen started flickering from overheating. Third day, 82 views, 1 message. Is this a scam? Too cheap. Jangha replied, not a scam. New portal, want to attract clients with a low price. The person read the message and didn't respond. Fourth day, 3 days left until the deadline. Income, 0 yuan. Jangha started to panic seriously. What if no one comes? What if the system takes away the portal? What if this was his only chance and he missed it? On the evening of the 4th day, when he was already about to go to the roof and really jump, the phone vibrated. New message on the forum. Hi, we're second-year students at Shanghai Hunter Academy. There are 5 of us. Looking for a cheap portal for practice before the exam. Do you really charge only 500? Can come tomorrow morning at 10. Confirm the address? Jangha almost dropped the phone with relief. His fingers trembled as he typed a reply. Yes, 500 yuan per group. Address is correct. Warehouse number 17, Haidian Industrial Zone. Waiting for you tomorrow at exactly 10:00. Portal will be activated. The reply came almost immediately. Agreed. See you tomorrow. Jangha laid down on the couch and slept normally for the first time in a week. In the morning, he woke up at 6, although the alarm was set for 8. Couldn't lie any longer. Nerves. Took a cold shower because hot water was turned off for non-payment. Shaved with a dull razor, cutting his cheek. Put on the cleanest t-shirt he found in a pile of dirty laundry. Ate the last pack of noodles, washing it down with tap water. At 9 in the morning, he was already standing at the warehouse, smoking cheap Golden Dragon cigarettes at 8 yuan per pack, and checking the time on his phone every minute. The portal flickered in the center of the warehouse, stable and ready. The system showed status. Active. Awaiting clients. At exactly 10:02, an old white Toyota minibus with a Shanghai Hunter Academy sticker on the side pulled up to the warehouse gates. The engine died with a cough. The door opened and 5 young people got out. 3 guys, 2 girls. All young, about 18 to 20 years old, students. Equipment cheap, but new. Basic steel swords without runic enhancements, simple leather armor, 1 wooden bow with a quiver of arrows. Faces nervous, full of a mixture of fear and excitement. Eyes burning. First serious dungeon without instructor supervision. The group leader stepped forward. A guy of average height with a short haircut and a small scar on his chin, dressed in leather armor that creaked when he moved, extended his hand for a handshake. I'm Li Wen. We're from the 3rd year of the academy, close combat faculty. This is our first independent portal without an instructor. He pointed to the others. This is Wang Jun, our 2nd swordsman. Chen Lei, archer, Xiao Mei and Lin Na, support and healer. Support. Jangha shook the extended hand. Jangha, portal owner. He spoke in the most businesslike tone he could. The terms are simple. 500 yuan per entry. Time inside is not limited. Exit at any moment through the return portal. All loot is yours. Death or injury, entirely your responsibility. Need to sign a waiver of claims. He handed over a printed document he had compiled himself yesterday evening, Googling a legal template. Li Wen ran his eyes over the text, nodded, and signed without really reading. The others also signed. Here's the money. Li Wen handed over a stack of crumpled bills tied with a rubber band. Zhang Hao counted. 500 exactly. The system immediately reacted, showing a notification. Payment received. 500 yuan credited. Current income. 500 out of 10,000 yuan. Mission progress, 5%. You can enter. He pointed to the portal. The group exchanged glances. The girl named Lin Na, fragile in a white healer's robe, looked especially frightened. Her hands trembled, clutching a wooden staff. Li Wen patted her shoulder. Everything will be fine. It's just rank F slimes. They approached the portal one by one. Li Wen was the first to step into the flickering surface and disappeared, as if diving into water. Wang Jun followed him, then Chen Lei with a bow, then the girls. In 10 seconds, all 5 were inside. Zhang Hao quickly opened the observation panel. The system showed what was happening inside the dungeon in real time. The image was projected directly into his field of vision, as if he was watching a movie on an invisible screen. The video was clear, with sound. The students appeared in a small, oval-shaped cave about 20 meters long and 10 meters wide. The ceiling was low, about 3 meters high, covered with stalactites. The walls were wet, gray-green from a layer of moss and lichen. The floor was uneven, dotted with puddles of murky water. Dim phosphorescent light came from mushrooms on the walls. The air was humid and cold. You could see steam coming from the students' mouths. It smelled of dampness, mold, and something sour. From the depths of the cave came characteristic squelching. Squish, squish, squish. Something was slowly approaching. The first slime crawled out from behind a large stone on the right. The creature looked disgusting. A green, translucent, gelatinous mass the size of a large dog, constantly changing shape as it moved. Inside the mass floated dark clots, half-digested organic matter. 2 dot eyes on the front part, just black holes in the jelly. A slit mouth from which slime dripped. It slowly crawled toward the group, leaving behind a wet, shiny trail on the stones. Li Wen swallowed, gripped the sword handle with both hands, and stepped forward. I'll take the first one. Cover me. He swung the sword horizontally. The blade passed through the slime with a wet squelching sound, cutting it exactly in half. The monster didn't even have time to react. Both halves plopped onto the floor, twitched a couple of times, and dissolved into a puddle of green stench. In its place remained a small monocrystal the size of a pinky fingernail in a puddle of thick slime. Easy, Wang Jun laughed, clearly relaxing. We worried for nothing. These creatures don't even have time to attack. The group moved deeper into the cave. Slimes appeared one after another, crawling out of cracks in the walls, from puddles, from behind stones. The students killed them methodically. Swordsmen cut, the archer shot arrows, the girls supported with enhancement spells. 15 minutes later, they had already killed 12 slimes. Collected crystals and slime in canvas bags, laughed, joked. Lin Na relaxed and even smiled, helping to collect the loot. Look, I found a double crystal! Xiao Mei raised a crystal slightly larger than the others. That's rare for rank F. 40 minutes later, they reached the far end of the cave, where the return portal was located. The same flickering door as at the entrance. Killed the last slime near the exit. Counted the loot. 23 monocrystals, 3 liters of slime, 1 rare crystal. Not bad for the first time. Li Wen nodded with satisfaction. Net profit 1,000 yuan if we sell everything. Minus 500 for rent. Everyone gets 100, plus experience. They exited through the return portal and materialized back at the warehouse. Satisfied, dirty, smelling of dampness and slime, but alive and whole. Li Wen approached Zhang Hao and shook his hand again, this time harder. Excellent portal for training. We'll definitely come back. And tell friends. Thanks. The group got into the minibus and left, chatting cheerfully about the loot. Zhang Hao remained alone at the warehouse. Exhaled all the air from his lungs. His hands stopped shaking. The system showed a notification. First rental successfully completed. Reputation, +1. Recommendations, function unlocked. Clients can now leave reviews and recommend your portal to others. It worked. First 500 yuan earned, 9,500 remained. 6 days until the deadline. The next day, around 12 o'clock in the afternoon, 3 groups came at once. All students, all on Li Wen's recommendation. 1,500 yuan in 3 hours. On the third day, 5 groups. 2,500. Rumors spread through student chats and academy forums. A new cheap rank F portal appeared. The owner is adequate, doesn't cause trouble. Safe, you can calmly farm materials for exams. By the evening of the 4th day, total income reached 4,500 yuan. The system showed mission progress 45%. 5,500 remained until the goal. 3 days until the deadline. Quite realistic. Jangha allowed himself to eat normally for the first time in months. Went into a restaurant and ordered fried noodles with beef and vegetables, soup, rice, tea. Ate everything down to the last grain. His stomach, unaccustomed to normal food, hurt, but it was a pleasant pain. But on the 6th day, something happened that changed everything. On the 6th day toward evening, when the sun was already declining toward the horizon and the warehouse was filling with long shadows, a black Range Rover SUV of the latest model pulled up to the gates. Jangha immediately became alert. Students rode public transport or old minibuses, and such cars belonged either to rich hunters from large guilds or to criminals. 4 people got out of the car, and it was immediately obvious. These were not beginners. Movements confident, back straight, gazes cold and assessing. Equipment an order of magnitude more expensive than student gear. Steel swords with runic engravings, reinforced leather armor, potions and pouches. Zhang Hao understood enough to estimate the set at minimum 50,000 yuan per person. 3 men and 1 woman. The woman was clearly the leader. She walked in front, the others half a step behind. She was about 25, maybe a bit older, short black bob haircut and cold dark eyes, assessing Zhang Hao as if calculating the price of his organs. On her belt, a long spear in folded state, handle inlaid with red stones. An aura of power emanated from her, almost physically palpable. Zhang Hao felt pressure on his skin, goosebumps on his arms. She approached the table where he sat with a laptop, keeping track of clients, and threw a stack of bills on the tabletop. The money fell with a dull slap, and she didn't even look at him, examining the portal in the center of the warehouse. Song Mei, these are my people. Voice sharp, commanding. We'll go in, clear it, come out. Don't interfere and don't ask questions. Jangha took the stack, counted. 500 exactly. But unlike the students, this group behaved as if they were doing him a favor by condescending to his pathetic portal. Need to sign a waiver of claims. He handed her the document. Song Mei took the sheet with 2 fingers, ran her eyes over it, and threw it back on the table, already signed, handwriting sweeping and careless. Does the crediting system work? She nodded at the portal. Yes, automatic loot collection is enabled. Everything you kill, the system will register as your property. Good. She turned to her group, snapped her fingers. All 4 headed to the portal. One of the men, a muscle-bound man with a shaved head and a scar across his entire face, looked back at Zhang Hao and smirked, showing a gold tooth. Slimes, huh? We crushed those with bare hands at the academy. Finger warm-up. The group entered the portal and disappeared. Zhang Hao opened the observation panel. The system credited the payment. Income 5,000 yuan out of 10,000. Mission progress 50%. Half the way to the goal remained, a day and a half until the deadline. On the observation screen, Song Mei's group materialized in the cave. And immediately the slaughter began. Song Mei beat slimes with her fists and they exploded. The muscle-bound man spun a 2-handed sword with one hand. The fire mage snapped his fingers, turning slimes into burning jelly. And the guy in glasses walked behind, yawning and checking his phone. 8 minutes later, they cleared the entire cave. 23 slimes killed and no one even broke a sweat. Song Mei stopped, surveyed the walls and frowned. This is too easy, boring. The muscle-bound man nodded. Rank F for us is like kindergarten. Why did we even come here, boss? Wanted to check the rumors about a cheap portal? Song Mei squinted, looking directly at the point of the invisible camera. And check the owner, let's see how agreeable he is. She turned to the camera and spoke clearly, knowing she was being heard. Owner, I know you're watching. Make the dungeon harder, add an elite monster or raise the level of regular ones. We're bored. I'll pay an additional 500 yuan. The system immediately showed a new window. Client song. Emmy requests real-time difficulty modification. The following options are available. 1. Increase the number of slimes by 50%, cost 0. 2. Raise slime level by +2, cost 300 yuan from balance. 3. Add elite monster, mutant slime. Level 5 cost 500 yuan from balance. 4. Set time limit, cost 0. 5. Combination of options available. Warning. Any change in difficulty increases the risk of client death. Client death decreases reputation by -10. Current reputation, +17. If it falls below 0, client flow will significantly decrease. Jangha sat in front of the screen staring at the options. Fingers hovered over the buttons, thoughts racing. On one hand, Song Mei's group looked very strong. An elite monster level 5 probably wouldn't be a problem for them either. On the other hand, the word probably was frightening. What if someone dies? -10 to reputation, that's painful. He had just started building a client base and one death could destroy everything. But Song Mei offered an additional 500 yuan. That would bring income to 5,500, more than half the mission. At this pace, he would close the mission tomorrow by noon. Plus, she asked herself, he didn't force it. She's a rank E hunter, judging by her aura and equipment. They know what they're getting into. Zhang licked his dry lips, his heart pounding. The voice of conscience screamed, "Don't do this. Don't risk other people's lives for money." But another voice of desperation and greed whispered, "You have no choice. They'll handle it. And if not, their problem." A personal message came from Song Mei. "Owner, did you fall asleep there? Add the elite monster. Here's a transfer for an additional 500 yuan. Waiting." The system confirmed the incoming payment and asked, "Credit?" Zhang Hao closed his eyes, took a deep breath, and exhale. Pressed. Credit. Add elite monster mutant slime. Level 5, payment credited, income 5,500 out of 10, progress 55%. Elite monster activates in 5 seconds. On screen, Song Mei's group was waiting. The muscle-bound man was stretching his neck. The mage was playing with fire on his palm. The guy in glasses finally put away his phone and took out a staff. Song Mei smiled. Finally, let's see what the owner prepared. The cave wall shook, stones cracked, thick green liquid oozed from the crack, gathering into a huge puddle. The puddle pulsated, grew and rose, forming a mass. 10 seconds later, a monster the size of a cow stood before them. Dark green, almost black slime, with purple veins, changing body, huge bloody eyes, and a maw with needle-like teeth. Slime dripped from the maw, hissed on the stones, and corroded them. The interface showed characteristics. Mutant slime, level 5, health 300 out of 300, poisonous slime, acid spit, regeneration. The muscle-bound man whistled. Now that's something. This is more interesting. Song Mei nodded, opened the spear to full length. The shaft flashed with red runes. Finally, a warm-up. Everyone ready? The slime roared and jumped, rising 2 meters and flying at the group as a giant drop. Scatter! Sung Mei shouted, and all 4 dispersed to the sides. The slime crashed with a wet slap, leaving a dent. Splashes flew around. The muscle-bound man was too close. A drop hit his arm. He hissed, "Fuck, it burns!" The skin turned red and started smoking. A burn remained. The fire mage hit the center of mass with a fireball. Explosion, steam, but minimal damage. The slime quickly recovered. The interface showed damage -25, regeneration +5 per second. It regenerates! Fire doesn't work well, the mage shouted. Sung Mei struck with the spear in the center, twisted, trying to feel for the core. The slime howled, wrapped the spear with its mass and jerked. Sung Mei was pulled forward toward the maw. She released the spear and jumped back. But a tentacle lashed at her leg and she screamed, falling to her knee. Interface, damage to Sung Mei -30, poison -10 per second for 5 seconds. The muscle-bound man rushed, cut off the tentacle, the slime retreated, leaving a poisonous trail. The guy in glasses finally entered the battle, a wave of the staff, a beam of white light, healing. The burn healed, the poison was neutralized. Sung Mei stood up, limping, face pale from pain and rage. That bastard owner added too strong a monster. Level 5, but characteristics like level 7. Retreat? Asked the muscle-bound man. No, Sung Mei clenched her fists. We'll kill this creature. They attacked again. The mage switched to ice, slowing the slime. The muscle-bound man cut frozen pieces. Sung Mei struck with the spear from a distance, aiming at the eyes. But the slime turned out to be smarter, started spitting acid with frightening accuracy. One spit hit the guy in glasses right in the chest. The armor melted, the skin burned through to the ribs. He screamed and collapsed, blood gushed from the wound. Interface, Ziqiu Yu Fiang critically wounded, health 30 out of 200, bleeding -5 per second. Fang! Sung Mei rushed to him but made a mistake, got distracted. The slime jumped again and covered her with its entire mass. Jangha watched the screen without breathing. His heart pounded like a hammer. No, she can't die. She's rank E. The muscle-bound man and mage cut and burned, the mass retreated, and Sung Mei was pulled out alive but burned. Interface, slime health 120, Sung Mei health 80 out of 300. The mage gathered the remnants of mana and released the most powerful fireball. Flame consumed the monster. It squealed and evaporated. 10 seconds later, there remained a puddle of charred slime and a small core, cracked and dull. Mutant slime defeated. But the victory came at a high price. Jianfang lay in a pool of blood, breathed hoarsely, the wound gaped. The muscle-bound man tried to stop the blood, but couldn't. Boss, he needs a healer. Now. The muscle-bound man's voice trembled. Sung Mei nodded. We're taking him out, quickly. They dragged him to the return portal. A minute later, all four tumbled back out at the warehouse. Zhang jumped up, saw the bloodied guy and the stopped gaze. Jianfang died right in the muscle-bound man's arms, a final gasp, convulsion, and silence. Interface. Group member killed. Zhou Feng. Reputation, -10. Current reputation, +7. Sung Mei slowly turned her head and looked at Zhang Hao. Eyes burned with hatred through the burns. She stepped toward him, grabbed him by the collar, and lifted him off the floor. You killed him. She squeezed out each word through her teeth. Zhang Hao choked. You yourself? Asked. We asked to make it harder, not to kill us. She shook him. An elite monster level 5 shouldn't be that strong. You modified it. No, I just added what the system offered. He wheezed. Liar. She threw him onto the concrete. Air was knocked out of his lungs. Sung Mei stepped on his chest and pressed, ribs cracked. We'll sue you. Manslaughter, you'll go to prison. Zhang Hao coughed, spitting. I have a recording. You yourself asked for an elite monster. Paid. Signed. A waiver of claims. Sung Mei froze, jaw clenched. Zhang Hao continued, wheezing. Everything is recorded by the system. Your request, your payment, your signature. The court will side with me. She looked at him for a long time, then slowly removed her foot, turned around, spat on the floor. You're a dead man. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but you're a dead man. Remember my name, Sung Mei. Steel Fang Guild. We'll be back. She took Jianfang's body, her group loaded it into the SUV. The car left, roaring its engine. Zhang Hao remained lying on the floor, looked at the ceiling, breathed heavily, his whole body hurt. A person died? A second person died because of him. But the system showed. Income, 5,500 yuan out of 10,000. Progress, 55%. Available for absorption. Jianfang's body remained in the dungeon. Equipment, crystals, personal items. Take? Zhang Hao closed his eyes. Conscience screamed. But greed screamed louder. He pressed take. Absorption complete. Received, healer's staff, rare quality, level 10. Market value, 2,800 yuan. Reinforced leather armor, uncommon quality. Market value, 1,200 yuan. Health potions, 5 pieces. Value, 750 yuan. Mana potions, 3 pieces. Value, 450 yuan. Medium-sized mana crystals, 12 pieces. Value, 1,800 yuan. Personal items, wallet with 800 yuan. Cash, phone, documents. Total value, 7,800 yuan. Sell-through system, 7,800. Together with the current 5,500 that gave more than 13,000. Mission accomplished with a margin. Zhang Hao lay on the cold concrete floor, staring at the dirty warehouse ceiling, where between rusty pipes hung cobwebs as thick as a finger. His t-shirt was wet with sweat. His ribs ached where Sung Mei had stepped. His hands trembled. He had just robbed a dead person. No, didn't rob. The system offered. The system did it automatically. Jianfang's body remained in the dungeon, dissolved in slime, as per portal rules. No one will find the corpse, no evidence, just numbers, just loot, like in a game. But his hands still trembled. Zhang Hao closed his eyes, clenched his fists so hard that nails dug into his palms. Took a deep breath, then another. Exhaled slowly. It's not my fault, he repeated to himself. She asked herself, paid, signed the waiver. They knew the risks. Hunters always know the risks. Every portal is a risk of death, such is life. But the voice sounded unconvincing even in his own head. He opened his eyes, looked at the system window that still hung before his face, waiting for confirmation. Sell through system? Fingers hung in the air. Could refuse, could return the items. Find Jianfang's family, give them the equipment, say he died heroically, ask for forgiveness. And then what? Mission failed. System withdrawn. Debt of 2 million still hangs. Collectors will come in 2 days. Break his legs or kill him. Jangha laughed, hysterically with a break. The sound echoed off the walls of the empty warehouse. What the hell is he fooling himself? He never had a choice. Choice is a luxury for those who have money, connections, a future. He had nothing. He pressed sell, sale, complete. 7,800. Yuan credited. Current income. 13,300 yuan. Mission complete. Goal of 10. 1,000 yuan achieved and exceeded by 33%. Rewards being granted. A bright flash of light filled the warehouse. Jangha squinted, covered his face with his hand. When the light faded, a new window hung before him, large and golden, decorated with complex patterns around the edges. Congratulations on completing the first mission. Rewards received. 1. Monster evolution. Function unlocked. You can now upgrade existing monsters, raise their level, add new abilities, change behavior and appearance. 2. 1,000 experience points received. Your level raised from 0 to 3. Received 5 free characteristic points. 3. Access to system shop opened. Can buy monster blueprints, traps, portal upgrades. Consumables. 4. Bonus reward for overachievement. Second portal rank F provided free. Choose location. Second portal, free. Jangha sat up, wiping sweat from his forehead. Opened the location map that the system showed. Dozens of abandoned buildings throughout Shanghai were highlighted in green. Available places for portal installation. He chose an old factory on the other end of the city, in the Pudong District Industrial Zone, farther from this warehouse. Diversification. Second portal installed. Type. Forest clearing with wolves, rank F. Monsters, gray wolves, level 2, 4. Now he had 2 sources of income. Jangha opened the characteristics tab. His current parameters appeared before his eyes. Name, Zhang Hao. Level, 3. Experience, 0 out of 3,000 to next level. Strength, 10. Agility, 9. Endurance, 11. Intelligence, 13. Mana, 5. Free points, 5. Title, none. Skills, Dungeon Management, Unique Skill, System Observation, Monster Evolution. He distributed the points. 2 in Strength, 2 in Agility, 1 in Endurance. If Sungmei really comes back with revenge, he needs to be ready to at least run away. Characteristics updated. Strength, 12. Agility, 11. Endurance, 12. Jangha stood up. His body felt different, lighter, stronger. Muscles filled with energy that wasn't there before. He clenched his fist, felt power in his fingers. Jumped in place, got higher than usual, about 10 centimeters. The system really was changing his body. He opened the system shop. A huge catalog appeared before his eyes, divided into categories. Monsters. Thousands of blueprints from slimes to dragons, prices from 100 wen to millions. Traps, poisonous gases, collapses, labyrinths, illusions, teleports. Portal upgrades, expansion of dungeon area, addition of new rooms, environment change. Consumables. Potions for monsters, food, healing, enhancement. Special functions, automation, security systems, portal masking from authorities. Jangha scrolled through the Monsters section, stopped at 1 blueprint. Skeleton Warrior, rank F, level 5. Cost, 800 yuan for blueprint plus 100 yuan per skeleton summon. Cheap and effective. Skeletons don't require food, don't get tired, obey commands unconditionally. Bought. Then bought the Poisonous Gas blueprint for 500 win, and Cave Expansion for 1,000. Purchases complete. Balance 11,000 yuan. Jangha closed the shop. Looked at the portal in the center of the warehouse, which flickered calmly, waiting for the next clients. He needed to decide what to do next. Reputation fell to +7 after Jianfang's death. This meant new clients would be more cautious. Rumors of the death were surely already spreading through the forums. Students who previously praised his portal would now be afraid. But there was another path. Jangha opened the Hunter forum again. But this time not the main section, but a hidden one he knew about from his time studying at the academy. Black market. This was a shadow segment of the forum, access to which required special registration through anonymous proxies. Here they traded illegal artifacts, stolen loot from government portals, contraband potions, forbidden skills. Here also illegal guilds looked for portals to train recruits without registration in the Hunter Association database. Jangha registered under the nickname Dungeon Lord 17. Created an ad in the services section, private portal rank F for rent. No registration with the association, no questions. Anonymity guaranteed, price negotiable. Write in PM. Sent. 20 minutes later, the first message came. How much for a group of 10 people? We need to train recruits before a raid. Jangha replied, 1,000 win for a group of 10. Portal is yours for 3 hours. Expensive, 700. 900. Final price. Agreed. Tomorrow at midnight. Will you send the address? I'll send it an hour before the meeting. Deal concluded. The black market was more dangerous but more profitable. People here didn't ask questions, didn't leave reviews, didn't complain to authorities. If someone died, they were simply written off as missing. Perfect. The next day, close to midnight, a truck arrived at the warehouse. 10 people in black balaclavas got out. No faces, no names. The leader, a broad-shouldered man with a voice hoarse from cigarettes, handed over the money in cash. 900 wen in dirty, crumpled bills. We'll go in 3 hours. If one of us dies, you die next. Understood? Jangha nodded, trying not to show fear. Understood. The group entered the portal. He watched through the system. They cleared the cave methodically, professionally, not beginners. Most likely mercenaries or members of an illegal guild. Killed slimes quickly, collected loot, moved on. 2 hours later, they came out, all 10 alive. The leader nodded to Jangha. Good work. We'll be back in a week. We'll bring more people. The truck left. Income 900 yuan. Black market reputation +5. The system tracked reputations separately for legal and black markets. Smart. The following days, Jangha worked on 2 fronts. During the day, he rented portals to students and small groups cheaply, maintaining a legal facade. At night, to illegal guilds, mercenaries, criminals at inflated prices, income grew. In a week, 37,000 yuan. In 2 weeks, 82,000. Jangha moved from the rented apartment to normal housing. Rented a 2-room apartment in a decent neighborhood. Bought new clothes, phone, laptop. Started eating normally, went to restaurants, ordered meat, vegetables, rice, soups. His body quickly recovered after months of starvation. Paid off the first part of the debt, 200,000 wen. Collectors stopped calling. 1,800,000 remained, but now it was realistic. The system showed a new notification. New mission available. Mission, evolve portal to rank E. Requirements, 1 of 2 options. Option A, earn 100,000 yuan from portals. Option B, kill 100 people inside dungeons. Reward, 1 rank E portal. Boss creation. Function, title, Lord of Death. Deadline, 30 days. Jangha stared at the requirements. 100,000 wen or 100 corpses. Option A was the obvious choice. Legal, safe. At the current pace, he would earn 100,000 in 3 weeks, even earlier. But option B? The title Lord of Death sounded powerful, probably gave some bonuses. Jangha shook his head. No, he's not a killer. 2 deaths already weighed heavily on his conscience. 100? That's madness. He chose option A. Choice locked. Current progress, 0 out of 100,000 yuan. Countdown started, but fate decided otherwise. 3 days later, a group of 5 people came to the warehouse. Academy students, young, overconfident. Jangha had already seen dozens like them. Burning eyes, expensive equipment bought with parents' money. Complete absence of real experience. The leader, and a guy with gel in his hair and a gold bracelet on his wrist, threw 500 wen on the table. We heard your portal is too simple, make it harder. Add an elite monster. Here's another 500. He threw the second stack. Jangha raised his hand. Wait. An elite monster is dangerous. Recently, one group... We don't give a shit about other groups, the guy interrupted. We're strong. We'll handle it. Add it. Jangha hesitated. Remembered Zhou Feng, his stopped gaze, the pool of blood. I don't recommend... Are you stupid? The guy leaned forward, resting his hands on the table. We paid 1,000. Add the elite monster, or we'll leave and leave a bad review. A bad review would kill the legal business. Jangha clenched his teeth. Sign an extended waiver of claims. It states that increasing difficulty is at your risk. Whatever, give it. They signed without even reading. The group entered the portal. Jangha added an elite slime level 6, one level higher than the one that killed Zhou Feng. Watched through the system. The students were weaker than they thought. Equipment expensive, but skills absent. They attacked the mutant slime chaotically without coordination. 5 minutes later, 3 were dead. The remaining 2 ran to the exit. The slime caught one, dissolved him alive. The last one, that same guy with gel in his hair, reached the return portal and tumbled out. Face white with horror, all in blood, not his own, his comrades'. Fell to his knees, vomited right on the warehouse floor. Jangha stood aside, silently watching. The guy raised his head, looked at him. They're all dead. You signed a waiver? Jangha said in an even voice. I warned you. The guy sobbed, burying his face in his palms, then stood up, swaying, and left without even looking back. The system showed group members killed, 4 people. Legal market reputation, -40. Current reputation, -33. Black market reputation, +20. Current reputation, 25. Available for absorption. 4 sets of equipment, potions, crystals. Value, 14,000 yuan. Take? Jangha pressed take. And suddenly a new window appeared, red, pulsating. Attention! 4 corpses detected in 1 session. Alternative mission branch activated. New choice available. Continue option A, earn 100,000 yuan, or switch to option B, kill 100 people. Current progress. Option B, 6 out of 100. 2 previous corpses counted retroactively. Attention! Option B gives bonus rewards but is irreversible after choice, 6 out of 100. Jangha looked at the window for a long time. The legal market was already collapsing. Reputation in the negative. Students would now avoid his portal. Only the black market remained. And their deaths didn't concern anyone. He thought about Sung Mei, who promised to return and kill him. About the collectors who were still waiting for the remaining 1.5 million. About 4 years of humiliation at the academy. About his parents who died leaving him only debts. About the fact that he never had a choice. Jangha pressed option B. Choice locked. Mission changed. Kill 100 people inside dungeons. Current progress, 6 out of 100. New function unlocked, extreme mode. Can temporarily block exit from dungeon. Significantly increase difficulty. Add traps without additional fee. And at that moment, something inside Jangha broke completely. He stopped making excuses to himself. Stopped looking for reasons, simply accepted. He is a dungeon owner. This is his business. Death is part of business. Jangha opened the black market and created a new ad. Extreme Portal Rank F, for those who don't fear death. Rewards tripled, maximum risk. Price, 300 yuan, only for madmen. The low price attracted attention instantly. The desperate, greedy, overconfident, they came in droves. And died. One after another. Jangha no longer counted faces. Only numbers. 10 out of 100, 20 out of 100, 35 out of 100. Black market reputation grew. His portal became known as the Meat Grinder, a place where you can get rich quick or die quick. 50 out of 100, 70 out of 100. Jangha evolved slimes into more lethal forms, added skeleton warriors, installed poisonous gas traps, expanded the cave, turning it into a labyrinth where it's easy to get lost and impossible to find the exit. 90 out of 100. 10 deaths remained. And then the system showed. Special event available. Death tournament. Invite 10 hunters rank D or higher to a no-rules tournament. Last survivor gets the prize. If all 10 die, mission completed early with bonus. Jangha smiled for the first time in weeks. Death tournament. Perfect. Jangha spent 3 days preparing the tournament. This had to be an event that would attract the attention of the most dangerous and greedy hunters of the black market. The stakes had to be high enough to lure strong fighters, but not so high as to raise suspicions. He created an ad in the deepest levels of the black market, in sections where only those who were ready for anything for money went. Death tournament. No rules arena. 10 participants enter, 1 exits. Prize fund, 1 million yuan. Entry, rank D or higher. Fee, 10,000 yuan per participant. Date, In 3 days, midnight. Address sent after participation confirmation. Owner not responsible for deaths, anonymity guaranteed. 10,000 WAN fee from each, 100,000 total collection, minus 1 million prize to winner. But Jangha didn't plan to pay anyone. If everyone dies, he'll take both the fees and the equipment. The first response came 2 hours later. I'm in. Rank D swordsman. When and where? Then a second. Third. By end of day, 7 confirmations. On the second day, 3 more. 10 participants recruited. Jangha used accumulated money to buy a special upgrade in the system shop. Death Arena. Cost, 20,000 yuan. Effect, creates isolated space inside portal. Exit blocked until 1 participant remains alive or all die. Automatic loot collection from corpses. Spectator mode for owner with recording option. Bought. The portal changed. The slime cave transformed into a circular arena 50 meters in diameter. Stone floor, smooth and level. Walls 10 meters high without ledges. Impossible to climb. Ceiling shrouded in darkness. Around the perimeter, torches with cold blue fire giving dim light. In the center of the arena, the large timer carved right in the air with glowing runes. 000000. Jangha set additional rules through the system. Tournament rules. 1. Fight starts on signal. Before signal attacks prohibited. Violator will be killed by system. 2. Use of potions, artifacts, weapons allowed without restrictions. 3. Magic of any level allowed. 4. Exit from arena blocked until victory of 1 participant. 5. If all participants die simultaneously. Prize fund annulled. 6. Winner receives 1 million yuan cash immediately after exit. Everything ready. The night of the tournament arrived cold and foggy. Jangha waited at the warehouse, smoked 1 cigarette after another. Nerves stretched like strings. If even 1 participant survives and tells the authorities or Hunter Association about this, his life ends. But too late to back out. Exactly at midnight, participants began to arrive. One after another, all in masks, hoods, balaclavas. No one gave names. Only numbers that Jangha assigned to each during registration. Participant number 1. A woman, tall, thin, with 2 daggers on her belt. Movements feline, silent, eyes cold as ice. Participant number 2, a huge man over 2 meters tall, with an axe the size of a human torso. Muscles like a bull. Scars on arms, neck, face. Participant number 3 is like a teenager. Looks about 16 but eyes old, dead. In hands, a long staff with a skull on the end. Necromancy mage, judging by the aura. Participant number 4, a middle-aged man with a bow and quiver of poisoned arrows. Quiet, calm, doesn't look at anyone. Participant number 5, a woman in heavy plate armor covering the entire body. Voice mechanical, distorted by magic. Number 5 arrived. Participant number 6, twins, a guy and a girl in identical black robes. Holding hands, synchronized mages obviously. Rare specialization. Participant number 7, an old man with a long gray beard and a katana sword on his belt. Movement slow but precise. Swordmaster confident in himself. Participant number 8, a muscle-bound guy in a tracksuit without weapons. Hand-to-hand fighter with enhanced body. Participant number 9, a woman with a whip wrapped in barbed wire. Sadistic smile on her lips. Participant number 10 was 5 minutes late. Arrived on a motorcycle, removed helmet. Young guy with shaved temples and tattoos on neck. In hands, 2 short chains with blades on the ends. All 10 gathered. Jangha addressed them, trying to speak confidently. Rules are simple. Enter the arena. Fight starts on signal. Last survivor gets 1 million yuan cash. Questions? Silence. Excellent. I've already received fees from everyone. Enter. They one by one passed through the portal and disappeared in the flicker. Jangha closed the warehouse gates, locked them with a bolt, sat at the laptop, opened the observation panel to full screen, turned on recording function. If something goes wrong, at least there'll be evidence. On screen, 10 participants materialized on the arena, stood at different points, keeping away from each other. Assessing glances, hands on weapons. Timer began countdown. 00 colon. 00 colon 10. 00 colon. 00 colon 09. 00:00:08. Some took enhancement potions. The muscle-bound man stretched his neck, cracking vertebrae. The twins began chanting a spell synchronously, their hands glowed blue. The old man with the katana stood motionless, eyes closed, breathing even. Meditation before battle. 00:00:03. 00:00:02. 00:00:01. Start! The roar of a gong rolled across the arena, and the slaughter began. The muscle-bound man attacked first. Activated body enhancement skill. Muscles swelled, skin covered with stone crust. Rushed at the nearest opponent, archer number 4. He fired 3 arrows per second. 2 bounced off the stone skin. The third hit his eye. The muscle-bound man roared in pain but didn't stop. Reached the archer, grabbed him by the throat with one hand. Squeezed. Crunch of vertebrae. The archer went limp. Participant number 4 killed. But the muscle-bound man didn't notice the woman with daggers number 1. She appeared behind his back, silent as a shadow. 2 quick strikes. Daggers entered the kidneys. The muscle-bound man screamed, turned, tried to strike, but poison on the blades already took effect. His movement slowed. The woman jumped back, waited. The muscle-bound man fell to his knees. 10 seconds later, collapsed face down. Participant number 8 killed. On the other end of the arena, the twins finished the spell. Synchronized attack. Double fire pillars struck the old man with the katana. Temperature at impact point reached 1,000 degrees, but the old man disappeared. Instant step technique. Appeared behind the twins' backs. 1 katana movement, horizontal cut. Both heads flew to the sides simultaneously. Participants number 6 killed. The old man wiped the blade on the robe of one of the corpses. Turned around. A chain with a blade flew toward him. Participant number 10 attacked from a distance. The old man deflected the chain with the katana. Sparks. Metal rang. The guy with chains attacked again. Both chains rotated around him, creating an impenetrable wall of metal. Blade dance technique. The old man assessed the opponent, nodded with respect, sheathed the katana, took a stance, exhaled. The guy with chains threw them forward simultaneously, double attack, impossible to dodge both. The old man didn't dodge. Drew the katana, 1 strike, so fast the eye couldn't catch it. Both chains were cut in half and fell to the floor. The guy froze in shock. The old man was already beside him. Katana entered the heart. Participant number 10 killed. 5 remained. The woman in plate armor number 5 raised a huge shield and sword, slowly moved to the center of the arena. Tank, bet on defense. The woman with the whip number 9 circled around her, cracked the whip. It stretched, wrapped around the armored woman's leg, pulled toward herself. But the armored woman didn't budge. Too heavy armor. Instead, she yanked the whip toward herself. The woman with the whip flew forward, losing balance. Shield strike to the face. Skull crunch. Participant number 9 killed. The teenage necromancer number 3 began raising corpses. From the bodies of the killed crawled spectral figures. Skeletons wrapped in shadows. 6 skeletons surrounded the armored woman. She methodically cut them with her sword. 1, 2, 3. But skeletons restored. The necromancer fed them with his mana. The woman with daggers number 1 understood that the necromancer needed to be killed first. She slid into shadows. Assassin skill, Shadow Merge. Became invisible. The necromancer sensed danger. Turned, waved the staff. A wave of dark energy pushed away shadows around him. The assassin woman flew out of cover, became visible. The necromancer released Death Arrow. A black beam hit her in the chest. She screamed, fell. Body began to decompose alive, flesh falling off in chunks. Participant number 1 killed. But the necromancer weakened. Spent too much mana. The old man with the katana took advantage of the moment. Threw the scabbard at the necromancer. Distracted attention. With a rush closed the distance. Katana flashed through the necromancer's neck. Participant number 3 killed. 2 remained. The old man with the katana and the armored woman. They slowly converged in the center of the arena, the old man light, fast, lethal. The woman slow but practically invulnerable. The old man attacked first in a series of strikes seeking weak spots in the armor, strikes at armor joints, at gaps. But the woman defended with the shield professionally, blocked every strike. Counterattack and sword strike from top to bottom, enormous force. The old man jumped back, but the sword split the ground, leaving a deep furrow. The fight continued 5 minutes. The old man tired, age took its toll. Breathing quickened, movement slowed by a fraction of a second. The woman noticed, made a feint, swung the sword but struck with the shield. The old man tried to dodge but was a millisecond late. The shield hit his ribs. Crunch. The old man flew 5 meters, fell. Blood gushed from his mouth, broken ribs, damaged lungs. The woman slowly approached, raised the sword above her head. The old man smiled through blood. Worthy victory. The sword descended. Participant number 7 killed. Winner, participant number 5. The armored woman stood among 9 corpses. Breathed heavily. Removed her helmet. Underneath was the face of a woman about 30 years old, scar across left cheek, short red hair. She looked up where she felt the observation. Where is my prize? Jangha stared at the screen. Damn, she survived. 1 out of 10. That means he'll have to pay $1 million. But then he looked at the list of absorbed loot. Available for absorption from 9 corpses. Equipment. Total value 320,000 yuan. Artifacts value 150,000 yuan. Potions, crystals, consumables. 90,000 yuan. Cash from pockets. 43,000 yuan. Total value 3,000 yuan. Plus 100,000 yuan in fees from 10 participants. Total income 703,000. Minus 1 million prize to winner. Loss of 300,000? No. Jangha had an idea. He opened the arena control panel. There was a function he noticed earlier but didn't use. Option: eliminate winner. Cost: 0 yuan. Effect: system kills. Last survivor through trap, poison, or monster. Winner does not receive prize. All loot goes to owner. Attention! Using this function is extremely immoral and raises black market reputation as deadly dangerous organizer. Legal reputation will drop to minimum. Jangha hesitated 3 seconds, then pressed activate. On the arena, right under the feet of the winner woman, the stone floor cracked. From the crack burst a tentacle. A giant mutant slime level 15, which the system summoned automatically. The woman tried to react but was tired after the fight. The tentacle wrapped around her leg, pulled down into the crack. She screamed, cut with her sword, but the tentacle was too strong. Dragged her into the pit. Crunch, sound of tearing metal. Screams faded. Participant number 5. Killed. All tournament participants. Dead. Bonus loot doubled. Mission: kill 100 people. Complete. Current count: 100 out of 100. Rewards being granted. A golden flash filled the warehouse. Jangha closed his eyes from the brightness. When he opened them, a huge window hung before him. Congratulations! Mission complete. Rewards: 1. Rank E portal provided. Choose location and type. 2. Boss creation function unlocked. You can now create unique bosses of any level for a certain fee. 3. Title received: Lord of Death. Title bonuses: all monsters in your dungeons receive plus 20% damage. You receive 10% of characteristics of each hunter ranked and above killed in your dungeons. Black market reputation doubled. Fear hunters below rank. See experience instinctive fear when meeting you. 4. Level raised from 3 to 11. Received 40 free characteristic points. 5. Special skill received: soul absorption. Can absorb souls of killed hunters, partially gaining their skills and memories. Jangha looked at the list of rewards, not believing his eyes. This is incredible. He opened characteristics. The system began automatically absorbing the souls of 10 tournament participants. Bodies on the arena dissolved into particles of light that flew into Jangha's chest through the portal. Pain. Burning, unbearable pain, as if his body was being torn apart from inside and reassembled. He fell to his knees, clutching his head. Screamed. In his head flashed others' memories. The lives of 10 killed, their skills, techniques, knowledge poured into his brain like boiling water. Woman with daggers, stealth skills, shadow merge technique, 20 years of assassination experience. Muscle-bound man. Body enhancement, stone skin, berserk skill. Twins, synchronized magic, fire spells, telepathic connection. Old man, sword mastery, lone blade technique, 40 years of training. Necromancer, death magic, raising undead, curses, and so on. 5 minutes later, the pain subsided. Jangha lay on the floor, wet with sweat, breathing heavily. But when he stood up, felt the difference. His body became different. Stronger, faster, more enduring. Muscles filled with power. Reflexes sharpened to the limit. He opened status. Name, Zhang. Hao title, Lord of Death. Level 11. Strength, 38. Agility, 42. Endurance, 35. Intelligence, 29. Mana, 63. Skills. Dungeon management, unique. Soul absorption, unique. Shadow merge, rank C. Body enhancement, rank D. Basic fire magic, rank D. Sword mastery, beginner level, dagger. Mastery, intermediate level, necromancy, basic level. Jangha looked at his hands, clenched his fists, felt power he never had. He was no longer a weak person. He became a hunter, a strong hunter. The system turned him into a monster, but in this world, monsters survived, and the weak died. Jangha smiled. For the first time in years, genuinely smiled. Survived, became stronger, earned over $1 million in one night, completed the mission, received the title. He approached the warehouse window, looked at the night city. Lights of skyscrapers flickered in the darkness. Somewhere out there lived millions of people who didn't even suspect that a new predator appeared among them. Lord of Death. Dungeon owner. Jangha opened the system, chose a location for rank E portal, an old abandoned hospital on the city outskirts. Dungeon type, undead lair. Monsters, zombies, skeleton warriors, ghosts. Boss, undead king, level 25. Recommended rank for clearing, group of 10 hunters, rank D to C. Rental price, 10,000 yuan per group. New business begins. And this time Jangha won't hold back. Conscience died with the 100th corpse. Only greed, ambition, and thirst for power remained. The system showed a new notification. Next mission unlocked. Create dungeon empire. Requirements. Own 20 portals of different ranks. Earn 10 million yuan. Kill one rank a hunter. Reward. Rank B portal. Title Lord of the Abyss. Ability to summon monsters into real world. Deadline 1 year. Jangha read the requirements and smirked. 1 year, 20 portals, 10 million. 1 rank A hunter. Difficult? Yes. Impossible? No. He survived in hell. Went through bankruptcy, humiliation, despair. Killed 100 people and didn't break. Now he knew the truth of this world. Power decides everything. Money gives power. Dungeons give money. Jangha is no longer a loser. 6 months passed. Jangha stood on the roof of his new office building in Shanghai's business center and looked at the city spread below him. 20 floors down, glass and concrete. His property, bought with cash. In these 6 months, he transformed from a bankrupt into one of China's most influential shadow players. 23 portals across the country, from Beijing to Guangzhou. Different ranks, different types, different price categories. Legal facades for students and small groups. Extreme dungeons on the black market for the desperate and greedy. Elite portals for rich hunters wanting to test themselves. Monthly income, 8 million yuan. Total earnings over 6 months, 42 million. Debt fully paid 3 months ago. Collectors apologized and stopped calling. Jangha hired a team. Not hunters, ordinary people. Administrators who kept track of clients, collected money, monitored portals. Lawyers who handled documents and covered his ass from the law. Guards, former military and mercenaries who made sure clients didn't break rules. But real power came not from people, the system. Over 6 months, he killed another 372 hunters in his dungeons. Not himself, by the hands of monsters, traps, bosses. Most on the black market, where deaths didn't concern anyone. Each death made him stronger. Soul absorption continued. Skills, memories, characteristics, everything poured into him in a stream. Current level, 29. Strength, 92. Agility, 108. Endurance, 86. Intelligence, 73. Mana, 245. He was stronger than most rank C hunters. Almost at rank B level, and this without real combat experience, only through soul absorption. Zhang took out a cigarette, lit it. Smoke dissolved in the cold night air. One last requirement of the mission remained: kill a rank A hunter. This was the hardest. Rank A hunters, the world's elite. There are fewer than 200 of them in China, each capable of clearing a rank C portal alone. Each can destroy a small army. Their bodies enhanced to superhuman level, their skills honed by years of deadly battles. Luring such a person into a trap and killing them, almost impossible. Almost. Zhang Hao smiled, remembering the plan he'd been developing for the last 2 months. He would create bait, a portal so valuable that even a rank A hunter couldn't resist. A rank B portal. The system allowed buying a temporary rank B portal for a huge sum, 5 million yuan. It would exist only a week, but that's enough. Zhang Hao spent the money. Installed the portal in the most expensive place, underground in central Shanghai in a secret bunker he rented through a shell company. Dungeon type: Ancient Dragon Treasury. Boss: Ancient Dragon, level 50. Reward for clearing: rank A artifact, 3 million yuan in mana crystals, rarest materials. This was a lie. There were no rewards, only death. But the ad on the black market looked convincing. Wild rank B portal discovered. Owner unknown. First to clear takes all loot. Entry without restrictions. Coordinates. Wild portal, a term for portals that appeared naturally without an owner. They were found rarely once a year worldwide, and each time it caused war between guilds. Zhang Hao knew many would bite on such bait. He sent the ad to the deepest black market channels and began to wait. 2 days later came the first bite. A small guild of 10 rank D hunters entered. The dragon burned them alive in 3 minutes. Then came a second group, 20 rank C hunters. Lasted 15 minutes. The dragon tore them to pieces. Rumors spread. The portal is real but incredibly dangerous. This only heated up interest. On the 5th day came a large guild, Iron Fist, 30 rank C hunters and 5 rank B. Serious force. They cleared the treasury methodically, advancing toward the dragon. Killed minor monsters, dragon servants, elementals, golems. Reached the boss. Battle lasted 40 minutes. The dragon was strong, but against 5 rank B hunters and support of 30 rank C, it didn't hold. They killed it. Zhang Hao watched through the system, clenching fists. Damn, they won. But when they approached the treasury in the depths of the lair, found nothing. Empty deception. The guild leader, the man named Wang Tianlong, rank B hunter, roared in rage. It's a trap! Someone created this portal specifically. They tried to exit, but Zhang Hao activated the final function. Exit block. Portal self-destruction. The dungeon began to collapse. The ceiling caved in, walls cracked, floor collapsed into the abyss. The guild ran to the exit, but the return portal disappeared. 5 minutes later, all 35 hunters were buried under tons of stone and magma, all dead. But this still wasn't a rank A hunter. Zhang Hao waited further. On the 7th day, a few hours before the portal's disappearance, he came, one person. A man about 40 years old in simple black clothing, without armor. Short graying hair, scarred, tired face, cold, dead eyes. The gaze of a person who'd seen too much death. On his belt, one katana in worn scabbard. The system showed information. Name: Liu Jianfang, rank, a level 53. Specialization: Swordmaster, Dragon Slayer. Status: Independent Hunter, not affiliated with guild known achievements. Killed 3 rank. A boss's solo, cleared rank B portal without support. Survived in ranks portal. Sole survivor from group of 50 people. Danger: extremely high. Zhang Hao felt cold in his stomach. This was a monster among people. Liu Jianfang entered the portal calmly without haste. Walked through treasury corridors, ignoring minor monsters. They didn't even attack him. Instinctively sensed he was a deadly, dangerous predator. Reached the dragon's lair. The dragon, a level 50 creature size of a bus, covered with scales harder than steel, roared and released a stream of fire at 3,000 degrees temperature. Liu Jianfang stepped aside. One movement, fire passed by. Drew the katana, one flash of blade. The dragon's head separated from body and crashed to the floor with a roar. One strike, one dead dragon. Zhang Hao stared at the screen in shock. This is impossible. A level 50 dragon killed with one strike? Liu Jianfang wiped the katana, sheathed it, approached the empty treasury, looked around, smiled. "Nice trap," he said aloud, looking directly at the observation camera. "But not good enough." Jangha froze. He knew? Liu Jianfang continued, talking to the invisible owner. "I know this isn't a wild portal, too convenient, too suspicious. But I was curious who decided to hunt hunters." He sat on the floor, crossing his legs. "So I came, not for treasures. For you, owner." Jangha felt his heart pounding in his chest. The trap didn't work. Liu Jianfang came specifically knowing the truth. What now? Activate portal self-destruction? Try to bury him under debris? But the system showed a warning. Attention. Target Liu Jianfang possesses skill. Spatial tear, you can teleport from enclosed spaces. Exit block will not work. Portal self-destruction will not kill him. Damn. Jangha thought feverishly. What to do? Run? But Liu Jianfang can track the portal owner through the system. Killing him remotely is impossible. One option remained. Meet face to face. Jangha activated the owner summon to dungeon function. This allowed him to teleport inside his own portal. Flash of light. He materialized in the dragon's lair 10 meters from Liu Jianfang. The man raised his gaze. Assessed Jangha. Young guy, 24 years old, thin but muscular. Eyes hard, without fear. Hands don't tremble. So that's what you look like, dungeon owner. Liu Jianfang smirked. Young, brave, foolish. Jangha clenched his fists. Activated all enhancements. Stone skin, body enhancement, shadow, merge at the ready. You came to kill me? He asked. No, Liu Jianfang shook his head. I came to make an offer. What kind? Work for me. The man stood up, brushed off his clothes. Your portals are useful. I can use them to train my people. In return, I'll give you protection from the Hunter Association and authorities. They've already started an investigation. Too many deaths in private portals. Soon they'll come for you. Jangha frowned. And if I refuse? Then I'll kill you here and now, Liu Jianfang answered simply. And take your system. Yes, I know about the system. Rare thing. You're not the first dungeon owner I've met. The previous one refused my offer. And what happened to him? Liu Jianfang smiled. His head lies in my vault. Silence. Jangha weighed options. Fight? He's stronger than most rank C hunters, but against rank A? Suicide. Flee? Liu Jianfang is faster. Refuse? Death? Accept the offer? What are the terms? Jangha asked. You continue managing portals, earning money. 20% of profit goes to me. In return, I cover you from the law and competitors. Plus, you create exclusive portals for me to train my students. Students? I'm training the next generation of dragon slayers, Liu Jianfang explained. There are 15 of them now. They need dangerous portals to grow. Your dungeons are perfect. Jangha thought. This isn't the worst offer. 20%, tolerable. Protection from authorities, priceless. And the alternative? Death. Deal, he said, but with one condition. What? Help me kill one person. Liu Jianfang raised an eyebrow. Who? Sung Mei, rank C hunter from Steel Fang Guild. She promised to kill me for her comrade's death. Sung Mei. Liu Jianfang smirked. I know her. Aggressive girl. Strong but stupid. Easy. He extended his hand. Deal? Jangha shook it. Deal. New achievement, alliance with rank a hunter. Bonus, black market reputation doubled. Legal reputation restored to 0. Protection from authorities active. A week later, Sung Mei was found dead in her own apartment. Official version, accident during training. Actually, one precise katana strike to the heart while she slept. Liu Jianfang kept his word. Zhang Hao continued expanding the empire. A year later, he had 53 portals across China and 3 abroad. Income, 20 million yuan per month. Level, 41. Hunters killed, over 1,000. He became a black market legend. They called him Lord of the Abyss. They said entering his portals meant entering hell. But the rewards were so great that the greedy and desperate kept coming. And dying. Zhang Hao no longer felt guilt. Conscience turned to ash somewhere between the 100th and 200th corpse. Now he was simply a businessman, sold a chance to get rich, and death to those who couldn't handle it. One evening he stood on his building's roof smoking a 1,000 yuan cigar. The city sparkled with lights. His city, his empire. The system showed a final notification. Congratulations! You have reached the pinnacle of dungeon owners in the Asian region. Next goal, world domination. New mission, create ranks portal, kill ranks hunter, become god of dungeons. Reward, absolute power over all portals in the world. Immortality, divine status. Deadline, no restrictions. Jangha read and laughed. God of dungeons? Why not? He walked the path from bankrupt to lord, from victim to predator, from human to monster. And he wasn't going to stop. Jangha threw the cigar butt down into the abyss between skyscrapers, looked at the stars, and smiled the devil's smile. His empire was only beginning.